I've been waiting for this one for a while. Right before Halloween, this movie was finally released in my region, and I was quite happy about this. After all, there hasn't been that much that piqued my interest for this Halloween, but I have heard a lot of good things about it, and Shudder is usually good for a nice surprise. No great movies usually, but entertaining ones, like the VHS sequels In a Violent Nature, Revenge and Late Night with the Devil, even though the last one had unfortunately some AI artwork in it, which I thought was unnecessary, and kind of cheapens the film and the experience in my opinion. But Shudder is not accessible in my region, so I ordered the Blu-ray. Well, not just the Blu-ray but the 4K special edition, until I was told that the edition is delayed until January. But hey, I was able to get another edition instead, and I got the package even earlier, together with some other horror and trauma movies I ordered. Well, Halloween and October has to be celebrated somehow, at least for me, as it's my favorite time of the year and my birthday is close to Halloween. So here we go in all its 4K glory. I watched this very well received Argentine horror movie, but what is it about? I'm not quite sure if the world in When Evil Lurks is aware of possession in general, or if it's just the area it takes place in. But Pedro and his family are aware of possessions, and the people around them as well. And when they find a corpse, they know that there is evil nearby. A possessed one is nearby actually, and rotting alive, spreading his possession and causing evil to happen. The corpse they found belongs to a cleaner, someone who is supposed to take care of the possessed and to protect the people. But this possessed one is already too far gone and has a demon growing inside him, just waiting to be released. So Pedro and his brother try to bring him away from the town, as the police isn't helping, as they don't see themselves responsible for this issue, even though it will cause death and destruction. Unfortunately, Pedro, his brother and some other men lose the possessed body when they try to move it. And like a virus, madness and violence soon spreads and Pedro's loved ones are in deadly danger. When Evil Lurks is an overall well-made and at times pretty gruesome movie. The possession does spread like a virus, usually forcing someone nearby to kill the possessed one, only so the possession can spread and find someone else to get killed or to kill. And those kills are violent and brutal, and no one is safe here. No kids, no pregnant women, not even dogs. The violence is grotesque and sudden, reminding me of Italian movies from the 70s and 80s. The whole film feels slightly off, as if it was taking place in our world, but not quite. The movie also introduces some clear rules relatively early on, and we can feel the dread of something terrible happening, once these rules are broken. I mean, we see already that there are terrible things happening, but without the proper context at first, before they introduce the rules to us in the movie. But once we are aware and hear the characters being aware of what will happen, if those rules are broken, we see them breaking the rules one after another throughout the movie, and the consequences of their deeds. Even though they should know better, but they are just overwhelmed by what they see and what they have to experience and endure. While the characters are not exactly likable, we start to feel more and more with them as the movie progresses and see them go through hell. The possessed are tormenting them, mocking them, keep killing their loved ones, causing more chaos and death, without any motivation except that they are evil. It's definitely a different take on the possessed and exorcism subgenre, and doesn't hold back in the violence or from breaking taboos without feeling too gratuitous. It's probably not for everyone, I would say. While it's not extreme, it's also not exactly a soft movie, if that makes sense. And the characters are not really that deep, to be honest. But it's enough to see them in this extreme situation. It feels like we see them in their worst spots, or close before their lives are being ended violently by this demonic possession. But we learn a bit about them as well. We learn about their relationships that they have to each other, with Pedro being the focus of the story, trying to keep his family, including his ex-wife, the kids and his brother safe, while all hell breaks loose. And while it is pretty interesting and exciting for a long stretch of the movie, Towards the end it kind of lets up, at least for me. Once they explain how bad things will be and how they try to fight it, I kind of lost interest a bit until the very end, which was pretty cool again, which had a pretty cool idea again. I don't want to spoil the movie, so I keep things vague here. But it's a decently acted, decently to well directed movie with a pretty fresh take on the subgenre and some really memorable scenes. Like the one with the dog or the X scene, which is already shown on the cover, and while it is more or less playing out like you would expect it, it was still different, at least for me, than what I would have thought how the scene would go down. I guess you have to see it yourself to understand what I'm saying. At times you can see that the budget wasn't that high, but overall I would say they made a pretty damn good job with the movie. I don't know what the budget exactly was, but I just say it was money well spent. Is it the new classic that it was supposed to be? Well, for me personally, not quite. But it's definitely a contender for being a cult classic. And a movie that I will pretty surely revisit one day again. But what I was really missing was some stronger characters and a stronger third act. It's still good though. And when Evil Lurks will get a 7 out of 10.